Hello internet, and today I got a walkthrough of Stella Sora for ya, which is a gacha game that just got released recently. Let's take a look at what this whimsical looking game has to offer. You've probably heard of this game already, especially with the developer Yoastar that was responsible for the very successful Blue Archive. If you like that style of games, this one should be on your list as well. Welcome to Stella Sora, and let's go through all the game from the perspective of your player and see what's up. You'll start the game by taking on the role of the Tyrant, a mysterious figure that suffers from the classical case of amnesia. You find yourself in an otherworldly timeline with these 3 trekkers to start, which will act as your adorable allies in your adventure, along with a lot of others. This is the start of the main storyline, and it introduces the world, the gameplay, and the mystery behind just you in general, given you have amnesia. Basic tutorial stuff. You'll be taking on grand quests, conquering mysterious modelers, and uncovering forgotten secrets. The choices you make in the storyline will actually change the narrative of the story and affect your persona. Your persona is reflected with these 3 social stats right here, down at the bottom right. They are branching paths with the choices you make that will lead to different consequences, and some straight up ends everything. Like, it is over. As you traverse through the land of Nova, you'll find your journey filled with companionship as you encounter girls with vastly different personalities with very different settings and backstory. And most of the time, they'll show up with outfits and thingamajigs that are kind of ridiculous, like a giant brush wielding girl or a witch on a broomstick. You'll be uncovering tons of storyline and moments with these girls that make for perfect memories. Some are wholesome, some probably gets you emotionally invested. You can text them, hang out with them, give them gifts, and as you do, you unlock more of your life's moments with them that you can read through via the affinity story. You can eventually unlock memory snapshots once you hit max affinity with characters, so it's kind of like a visual novel. So yep, the game definitely focuses on individual stories quite a bit. Now that you're acquainted with the story, it's time to check out the gaming part of Stella Sora. In terms of gameplay, you'll be leading a squad of 3 trekkers. We can designate them the main and support roles. Trekkers come in 2 rarities, either 4-star or 5-star, and all of them have their own unique elemental affinity. The game focuses a lot on elements where using teams with advantageous elements in different stages will give you a very big edge, especially including your runic disc, which pretty much is your equipment that usually provides elemental based buffs. Trekkers also have 3 different roles, namely the Vanguard, which is suited for the main position and that they have strong offensive main skills. There's the support role, which is most suited for the support position, where they provide strong utility through supportive skills. And finally, there's the versatile role, where they function anywhere. You can put them in main or support. They have a balanced mix of frontline and backline skills. Starting a battle will see you controlling your main trekker, while your support trekkers will jump in if you use their support skill or ultimate. Each one of these trekkers have 4 skills in their kit, which is their attack, main skill, support skill, and ultimate. Deploy 3 trekkers in the team, use their various skills manually while moving around to the best position to beat your enemies. On screen now you see one of my earliest work. It's the sending the child in harm's way so 2 adults can shoot them from behind. You can also use the autoplay feature, which does all of the skill usage for you, though some bosses may be challenging enough that you want to manually evade the boss's attacks. While you do have combat stages in the main story mode, one of the main gameplay you'll see yourself playing is the Ascension stages, which is essentially like a roguelike mode, and you're gonna collect more buffs as you beat each stage. It can get very epic when a lot of enemies spawn while your trekkers do their best to beat them, and it's just purgatory on the screen. Given I rarely play games like this, it's fresh and definitely satisfying to see your numbers go high quickly while you fight off a full map of enemies. Like, look at the screen right now, right? Yeah, that'll be the gist of gameplay. It's got a charm to it. Moving up next, let's go to the soul of a gacha game. It is the summoning system where you can obtain new trekkers and runic discs. In Stella Sora, there are 2 main types of banners. One for trekkers, which are the characters themselves, and the other is for runic disc, which are essentially equipment that boosts trekkers' stats and abilities. Each type of banner is divided into a time-limited variant and a standard variant. This is quite similar to a lot of gacha games, including Star Rail, if you watch me for that usually. A time-limited banner is, well, time-limited, and standard banners will always be around permanently without caring for time. Interestingly, there's also a rate-up banner that is considered the same category as the limited time banner. It's basically this second banner right here. Both the time-limited banner and this special limited banner share the same pity count. You will have to spend separate currencies for time-limited banners and standard banners, but obviously you can purchase both currencies with Stella Dust, which is the main universal gacha currency in this game. This is again similar to most other mainstream gacha games, nothing we don't already know. For trekker banners, you can purchase 1 pull for 300 Stella Dust, and the guaranteed pity for a featured 5-star trekker is set at 160 pulls. The base rate to get a 5-star trekker is 2%, and unfortunately, there is the good old 50-50 system, much like most gacha games out there. Guess we gotta be dodging that 50-50 again. Runic Disc banner, the rates are all the same, except you have a 75-25 system instead of 50-50. You also have a lower 120 guaranteed pity count, and all that does mean you have better odds at getting the Runic Disc when you do get a 5-star, but it's not guaranteed at first. This pity counter for both banners will carry over to the next one, which, well, is pretty common. On top of the normal stuff, Stella Sora actually has this claim system. Similar to Blue Archive, once per banner, reaching a total of 120 pulls allows you to claim the featured 5-star tracker right away. And this counter is independent from the 160 hard pity counter. This claim system counter also does not carry over to the next banner. That basically means you can pull 120 times in a banner, claim a featured 5-star tracker, and then only pull 40 more times on the next 5-star tracker banner, since that 160 pity count would carry over. On the contrary, that also would mean you could get the character before the 120 pity, but for the next banner, you won't see this claim system pity get carried over. It's like plus and minus. On screen right now, you'll see my favorite activity: spamming pulls and seeing mathematical randomness decide why cute girls pop out on my screen. This is Stella Sora's beginner banner, which has 20 rounds of free 10 pulls, and you can just spam them, save up to 5 results that you like, and then ultimately choose the result that you prefer the most. I'm so cooked that I would download games with this sort of function just to satisfy my urge to pull stuff, man. And yep, I ended up deciding with this Nazuna one, which is one of the higher tier supports, with the side of Flora, which is also a good Ignis support. And that's the standard introduction for the gacha system in this game. Let's move on to the game modes or events. Now that you've attained your brand new team after the beginner banner, it's time to bring them into the main gameplay mode of this game, which is Ascension. Obviously, you first want to upgrade your characters with their levels, their skills, but in any case, they are usually account level capped, so you want to bring them into Ascension after you've done all of that. Stella Sora offers multiple distinct game modes, and the main game mode you want to focus on is this Ascension mode. The reason being, this mode serves as your main way to progress and get stronger, actually, not just upgrading your characters. In Ascension, this is where you can create Ascension records, and other game modes will rely on this record, so you want to clear as far as you can on this. Basically, what this means is the better you do in an Ascension stage, you can copy that record in any other game mode and use that exact same team with all the buffs intact. So the better you do in Ascension, the better you do everywhere else. Ascension itself is like a roguelite mode where you can assemble up to 3 trackers, equip Runic Disc, and play through multiple floors. During the run, you'll enter different floors. Some requires to fight, some gives you a choice to make, or just rewards. Most of them will allow you to obtain very strong buffs, or in this game is named potential, and it can help you buff the characters that you're using quite a bit in your run. There are also musical notes, which is similar to potential in a sense, but it more upgrades your stat line and activates your Runic Disc's effect. Once you complete the whole run, your setup will be saved, and that very setup will be then used in other game modes. So the better you play in this mode, the stronger your account gets, and it's definitely a fun thought to chase that one perfect setup that really kicks your team into gear. Now, definitely the grind might get very redundant, but thankfully once you beat a stage, you can simply use a monolith stairs pass to quickly farm through the stage again. It will only need you to collect potentials, complete the mini events, and gain musical notes, all without needing to go through any of the lengthy fights, so you can farm for a really good setup very easily. They have 4 different stages in Ascension, the first stage being a beginner one that you will only really play once, while the other 3 are different monoliths, each with different element advantages and 7 difficulties for each of them. Utilizing a mono team with an advantageous element will be crucial to your success in this mode, and it basically heavily encourages you to build different teams with different elements. And that's pretty much the gist of the Ascension mode. Once you get a record ready, you want to bring that record with the team to beat up other game modes in this game. Speaking of other game modes, we do have the usual events. These are the classical in-game events, and currently there's the Guild Suite Guild event that is running. An event in this game consists of 5 parts usually. There's a new story content, story stages, mini games, event missions, and event shop. Completing them are usually quite easy, and you'll obtain great rewards like upgrade resources, gacha pulls, and even a 5-star Runic Disc. Pretty solid. Moving along with other game modes, we have the Bounty Trials. This is the main farming game mode where you can gain various upgrade materials. Very normal stuff. Up next is the Menace Arena, which features an infinite arena with loads of enemies. Element arenas will be tied to elements, while Infinite Arena contains no element of vulnerability and no resistances, but it's essentially a mode with a lot of enemies that you have to continually defeat. The further you go, the better the rewards that you can get. It's one of the early modes that you can unlock very quickly, and it's the easiest way to test your Ascension records really quickly. Next up, we have the Cataclysm Survivor mode, which is a survival mode that pitches you against endless waves of enemies. You can gain temporary buffs as you progress, but yep, it's an endless mode, so there's the challenge, right? Moving up next is the Proving Grounds, which consists of boss stages with specific element of weakness. You can obtain special tier up materials and skill cartridges, which is very crucial for upgrading tracker skills. Kind of like a boss fight game mode, right? Speaking of boss boss fights, we have the boss blitz mode as well, which is an extremely hard boss stage that really tests the limits of players and player strategy. And finally, my personal favorite would be the date special moments. You can invite some trekkers to hang out, and based on the choice you make, you can unlock special moments with trekkers. They'll ultimately be recorded as a special memory with them. This is like the part where you try and unlock a special CG or artwork with certain characters, right? By making the right choices, and it'll improve your affinity and connections with your trekkers. As someone who lacks this sort of memory IRL, this is the only source that I can get. And that is all for an introduction of what Stella Sora is all about after playing it for a couple of days as a newer player. Given I'm an ultra casual, I found this game to be a game that I can pull out the side and enjoy some of the stories with cute girls. Especially again, since I have no such stories with real girls in real life. If you're interested in trying it out, do find a download link in the description. And that will be all. Take care.